All right, so I'm going to try to do a breakdown of all this stuff that happened back in 2018 with Mario and Demon Master 813 and their connections with Yahweh Rules 2, who was Alex Tilgman, right? I'm going to try to expose basically what Mario and Demon Master were obviously presumably doing with their psyop, involving Alex Tilgman, who ran the Yahweh Rules 2 channel, and try to figure out, try to explain from the best of my memory and from the available information what exactly happened with all that in that situation. So pretty much, I think it was around February 2018, I had come back on YouTube after being involved in or mind controlled or whatever into that blood over intent cult in 2017, and so I came back on YouTube and all that, and I had named this channel or whatever Evil Reflection, and I had started making videos exposing different network nodes within the blood over intent psyop. I had started calling out, obviously the leader of that cult, Quasi-Luminous, as a liar. He made broken promises that he was going to go to the North Pole or whatever for the blood over intent cult and save the world or some nonsense like that. So I had made all these videos basically exposing the fact that he was a liar and that he was basically, a psyop agent, and that the other network nodes surrounding him, like Venus 14 and these other channels, were basically just other characters as well, other actors or whatever, psyop nodes pushing disinformation agendas, right? So pretty much shortly after I've been posting all these videos exposing, the blood over intent cult, I had started just basically doing forensic, like, level or logical exposures of their lies, just holding them accountable and all that. Shortly after that, Mario shares one of my videos where I had basically just been sharing a quote from the guy from the end of the Mass Effect video game series, like pretty much a quote symbolically about, like, we destroy them or they destroy us type of idea, regarding these shills or whatever this force is that was that rules the world or whatever. And so he had shared that video, and he was going through this manipulative love bomb phase that these infiltrator handlers do. They try to get the target feeling all good or something, as far as like being praised and giving them compliments and tell them they doing good work or whatever, and then early infiltration phase, tell the target they're doing a good job and befriend them and all that. So pretty much, like, around that time I was being mind controlled because of Mario. He had shared the Christian Alexei Kanemi video to me, basically, and he had basically got me obsessed with this Christian Alexei Kanemi information, frequency fence type stuff. And for some reason, I had also been watching these videos from the original Yahweh Rules channel. And that channel was pretty much just another PSYOP channel that was running these disinformation narratives, such as, for instance, like, he always going on about, all celebrities or famous people or all this stuff are demon tranny clones, right? And he would say things like, Donald Trump is actually a black transvestite and things of this nature to discredit real investigators or truth seekers. See? So anyways, yeah. Just random loud noises at whatever it is, like 1 to 2 a.m. or whatever. So anyhow, he'd been, yeah, Yahweh Rules, had been basically making all these videos in 2015, 16, 17, stuff like that, claiming that all celebrities, all famous people, all athletes or whatever are demon tranny clones and they aren't human and they, I guess, probably shapeshift or they'd sold their soul to the devil or something like this through Freemasonry and that they were cloned and replaced type of idea. So Demon Master 813 in 2016, the Arya Davud Hanalizadeh PSYOP agent had started basically making a channel, and he was, pretty much, like dedicating the channel to the ideas that the original Yahweh Rules channel talked about. This guy Yahweh Rules, who was like a black Hebrew Israelite, and he was always going on about, the end times are here, they're all demon tranny clones, the rapture is coming, the rapture will be here before you know it type of idea. And Arya Davud was basically parroting or making a channel to carry on his legacy or to support his message, basically. And to support his PSYOP message, right? Because they're all in the same network. They're all nodes within this same PSYOP network, right? To discredit real investigators of the truth. So basically, Arya had kept going on about, Yahweh Rules is right. They're all demon tranny clones. They blink too much. He kept going on about that, how they blink too much and how they're not human, and he was, repeating a lot of this same type of stuff that Yahweh Rules was saying about how, the Israelites or the Jews or whatever, they're all actually black, and Jesus was actually black or something like this black Hebrew Israelite doctrine, right? And then Mario, the first videos I ever had even seen him sharing on his channel or posting on his channel after he had shared my video and befriended me and, infiltrated my life at that time in early 2018, right? So he was sharing these same type of videos where these black people or whatever were preaching on the street and, basically promoting the ideas of the black Hebrew Israelite cult and all this. And so it's interesting, isn't it, how all these people seem to have aligning philosophies and beliefs, right? Like Arya Davud Hanalizadeh, Demon Master 813, Yahweh Rules, the original Yahweh Rules channel, and Mario, all into this strange black Hebrew Israelite stuff. So anyhow, like Mario had got me into this Christian Alexei Kanemi 12-hour documentary where he was showing actual things that did seem very anomalous, like frame by frame footage or other supernatural types of things that seemed very inexplicable, very hard to debunk or very hard to explain, supernatural abilities, polymorphic abilities or things like this. And he had basically gotten me obsessed on this reptilian shapeshifter conspiracy stuff. So in an attempt to discredit me, so I had, been basically from that point going forward in like April 2018, I had just been posting a lot of videos, regarding this frequency fence subject or this subject of reptilian shapeshifters or Dracs or whatever. And Mario was guiding me along all the way, telling me, wow, you're doing such good work. What a good video you just made. Here's another example. Why don't you make a video on this? Why don't you make a video on that? More examples. And then, because I was under the influence of all this stuff from Mario and the other network disinformation channels like Yahweh Rules, I had started watching Yahweh Rules in 2017. So pretty much Yahweh Rules, I watched some videos, and I don't know if I could have taken them too seriously in 2017 because it kind of seemed like a bit of a joke type of content, where he's saying Donald Trump is a black woman and a black transvestite woman that's been cloned and replaced or whatever. And, Yeah, it just seemed more like satire almost than any type of serious videos. But then Arya Davud or whatever, Arya Davud, the Demon Master 813 guy, he was saying, "Oh no, Yahweh Rules is right, and I am carrying on Yahweh Rules legacy or whatever." And this was before I even knew about Demon Master 813 because apparently he had started making videos in like 2016, and I had not found Arya's channel until 2018. So, and anyhow, in 2018, yeah, because of all this influence from Mario and all these other conspiracy videos, I just decided to reach out to him, and because he was talking about archangels and stuff, and I was saying, well, you want to help expose these non-humans, or I guess we could be friends or something like this. And then he was like, yeah, we'll work together, blah blah blah. And he invited me into this Discord, and then Mario was in the Discord. Just so happens Mario found his way into the Discord too. So basically me, Mario, and Demon Master 813 were in this Discord call talking about the non-humans and the archangels and all this disinformation stuff that isn't backed by any type of logical, observable, or forensic level analysis. It's only backed but by stories and psyops. But somehow, obviously through their influence, their disinformation machine, they had hooked me into believing this fake stuff, these fake narratives, right? So, yeah, and then after the call and all that, Mario was like, well, I don't know about Demon Master 813 and all that. And then, Demon Master 813 was like, oh, I don't know about Mario and all that. So they were already playing this like weird good cop, bad cop type manipulative weird game where they were trying to confuse me and pit me against people and cause this fake drama, right? Because these network nodes, they, love to stage fake types of kayfabe beef so they can keep the actual audience engaged in their fake drama because it's an energy siphoning tactic or agenda or whatever. So anyhow, Yahweh Rules 2, Alex Tilgman had been posting videos at this time, right? And he was living in Oklahoma City, and he was making these same type of videos, inspired obviously by the original Yahweh Rules channel. And he was talking about, oh yeah, we're living in a matrix, we're living in a prison, we're living in the Truman Show. The animals are demons, the animals are demonic or whatever, and they're becoming louder now because of Satan and because we're living in a demonic matrix run by demon tranny clones. And he seemed really distraught, and upset and all this. And he seemed like he was really depressed or whatever. And he had been making all these videos where he was walking around at the mall or whatever, getting kicked out of the mall and confronting people at, like, he went to this comedy show and confronting them as demons. And, basically, he was angry and distraught and disturbed by all this content from Arya and from Yahweh Rules and all that. And yeah, he'd been making all these videos about, oh, I just went to the comedy club, or he was doing these IRL videos where he was calling, people out in real life, accusing them of being demons. And then people in the comments were obviously saying, oh, this guy's mentally ill or whatever. All these theories are BS or whatever. And this guy's crazy or whatever. And then it turned out that Mario, actually because Alex Tilgman, and Mario, by the way, he's claimed Mario's fake backstory, his fake bullshit backstory, basically is that he's lived in Southern California his whole life, and he's never left Southern California in whatever it is, 45 years, basically. That's his fake backstory, his fake victimhood backstory, right? And he claims, I've only been to Los Angeles, basically, area, and Lake Elsinore in the Inland Empire. That's his whole fake backstory. It's just ridiculous. So anyhow, he was talking to me, though, about like, oh yeah, Alex Tilgman, he's really lonely and whatever. And Alex had been visiting his family in La Jolla. If you look at the Yahweh Rules 2 channel. You can actually verify that he had made videos, you know, on the beach in La Jolla or at his family's house there, visiting his family or whatever in that nice area in La Jolla, California, near San Diego. So, and Mario kept going on about, I mean, Alex, I'm going to meet up with Alex, and Alex is being tortured by these demons, it seems like, and I just want to meet up Alex, and Alex is, potentially a good guy, and I can relate to Alex because I know about these demons, and he knows about these demons, and he knows about how we're being tortured by these demons and all this stuff. So Mario had told me, like in March or April or sometime around then, or maybe early May 2018, he had told me that he had met up Yahweh Rules to Alex Tilgman in Southern California area, right? And they had gone out drinking, and that apparently Alex, who was a virgin at the time, I believe, as far as he was saying, had finally, lost his virginity or something like that, or he had paid an escort or something like that. And he was telling me like, oh yeah, Alex finally got what he wanted or whatever that night, or Alex was acting crazy, and Alex was pointing at license plates and saying, oh, look, the license plate says this and that. It proves we're in a matrix or whatever. And the demon tranny clones are running the matrix or whatever. And, that's the type of stuff that Mario claimed had been happening when he supposedly met Alex in Southern California. Now, he never posted any video evidence of this because Mario is somebody that hides his identity, because it would seem that he's a very high level type of handler that's involved in very nefarious type things. So it would seem from what he was telling me that he was basically influencing Alex to become more like paranoid or whatever, or extreme or whatever, or basically fixated more on the demon tranny clone element of things, and how the world is a prison and how it's a nightmare and how it's over, basically like a precursor to the black pill type ideas. And apparently Mario, from what I understand, he had been influencing Alex even more so, like, oh yeah, this world is just full of demons and it's so evil, Alex. And he was, like basically from what I could understand, he had been like basically grooming Alex, much like he had been like grooming me and all that stuff, to believe this crap about this disinformation spin about, like the demons control everything and it's the end times, the rapture will be here soon, the blacks or whatever are the real Jews, and the rapture's coming, and all this stuff and all this fake holy nonsense, that was just a cult pretty much. And it would seem that, Mario at that time was heavily influencing Alex. So like in early May to mid-May or something like this, 2018, Mario had told me, oh yeah, well, I know Alex and I have his phone number. Why don't you just reach out to him? You guys could probably relate with each other and get along, because you guys both believe in the same supernatural demon type of stuff that, I or whatever, or these other network nodes and disinformation channels had convinced you to believe, right? So he was like, you can relate to Alex, you both believe in the same type of stuff, so why don't you reach out to him? And from my memory, like, yeah, Mario basically gave me his phone number, or had basically referred me to Alex Tilgman or whatever, to speak to him right on his telephone number. And that was 2018, May 2018. So I had called Alex Tilgman and we talked for about an hour, and all Alex really told me on the phone pretty much over and over again is that, like, we're living in the Truman Show. I think they're placing bets on me. We're living in a prison. The demon tranny clones and the demons run everything. It's a nightmare out here. And yeah, this is just the way it is right now. It's basically everything Yahweh Rules says it is, or it's everything that Demon Master Arya Davud says it is, right? Like all these shills, right? So we had talked for about an hour, and, I didn't really get too much out of the phone call. All he had been really saying is, like, we're living in the Truman Show, a matrix, a prison, demon tranny clones. We've basically been just circling the wagon about the same topics, that I've been hearing about for the last month or whatever, or month since like early 2018. So then about a week or so after I speak with him on the phone, it turned out that there was some like tragedy at this place called Louis Bar in Oklahoma City, and Alex Tilghman had actually, you know, pretty much you can look at the news reports from the time. Alex Tilghman, Tilghman, as far as I remember. Yeah, Alex Tilghman. And he had basically opened fire in the bar, right? And he had injured a few people, and then some other people were there, and they pretty much shot Alex down, and he died there basically at the bar and all that, and it was a tragedy and all that. So, but who influenced all this stuff, right? Arya Davud, right? Fake Demon Master 813, the original Yahweh Rules channel, and this strange handler named Mario, right? Who just gave me a very generic Mexican or Hispanic name and all that, you know, very generic. You know, he had never shown his face on camera. He has never provided legitimate receipts to prove who he claims himself to be. His backstory is bogus. He somehow speaks native level or fluent Japanese, which he had never revealed to me in 7 years of knowing him. So, you know, this guy, Mario, seems like he has a lot to hide, because it would appear that he helped influence, you know, not only myself, like he tried to put me under this bull BS mind control regarding this demon tranny clone reptilian shapeshifter psyop, to, you know, basically push the black pill and be like, oh yeah, it's all over, and just put out all these videos to discredit you, because obviously when you put reptilian shapeshifter or whatever and talk about these subjects, you are you're just de facto dismissed as crazy person or whatever and all that. And that was obviously Mario's intention, and it would appear that Mario was grooming Alex Tilghman as well, by virtue of his meetup with Alex Tilghman in spring 2018, when they supposedly met up in Southern California. And Mario, I mean, who knows what Mario was telling Alex when they were in communication, right? In real life or on the phone or online, etc. So it would seem that Mario, from the research I'm doing right now, you know, and the logical conclusions and thoughts here is that, or analysis even, is just that, you know, Mario had likely been grooming Alex Tilghman to go even more nuts or whatever, or angry and whatever, and lash out or whatever, and go to that bar, right, and do what he did there. And then, you know, and it would almost seems like some sort of weird sacrifice too, like that Mario was involved in, you know. The optics of it seemed like a sacrifice to me. To me personally, and just logically, it kind of feels that way. And then after the shooting or whatever and all that happened, you know, Arya Davud was saying, oh, Alex Tilghman was always a fake demon. He was the Goetia demon Buer. And by the way, like I had said in the previous video, like Arya was fake, pretending to help, wanting to help pretend, you know, expose the blood over intent cult. But he never helped. All he did was destroy the work I started by diverting attention to bogus psyops, like calling every member of the Blood Over Intent network Goetia demons. He referred to Quasi-Luminous, the leader of the Blood Over Intent psyop network, as Stolas, the Goetia demon Stolas. And he referred to Alex Tilghman, Yahweh Rules 2, as the demon Buer, B-U-E-R. That's how it's spelled. So, you know, the days after the shooting and all that, and Alex Tilghman's tragic death and all that, you know, Arya Davud, Demon Master 813, was making all these videos claiming, well, it doesn't matter. He was just a demon anyways. It doesn't matter. And then he was saying Alex was evil. Alex is trying to discredit us by making us look crazy and all this nonsense. And then he had brainwashed me to also And then Mario was also insinuating like, oh, I don't know, man. Look how weird it is. Look how weird it is how Alex's body is laid out on the grass and